I've been spoiled by the majority of my early motorcycling days riding these types of bikes, like these 600s. These bikes are a lot more dailyable just because of how much easier it is to ride with your brain off. That's not really possible when riding something like this. This is an experience to ride. It's a pleasure. It's a privilege. However, there are some times where I just want to turn my brain off and just go for a chill ride, and it's really hard to do that on a bike like this. Good news is we get a new bike back on the page. It's been getting worked on for the past month now, waiting on parts. The parts install has been a disaster, and you guys are going to be able to see how much I've been dealing with in the background today. Hey?
Nice bike.
I'm picking up a Yamaha.
Oh, Yamaha.
Take care. What's going on?
Hello.
Hi. Look at all these BMWs that they have sitting back here. It's almost like a lot of these people trading in their BMWs for Ducatis. Meanwhile, my S1000 is still sitting at the dealer. But this bike has been a long time coming, so here we are. So last time we saw this bike, I had just put on this exhaust on the bike, which was my own doing, and hopefully it doesn't fall right off the bike. I did have them knock out the baffle because it turned out that baffle was a hell of a job. And so they managed to do that for me. They also managed to install an R6 throttle tube, which was super awesome of them. So now this has a lot shorter of a throw when accelerating. However, they were reporting that the quick shifter is still being a little finicky, so guess we will find out about that. But otherwise, this thing is fully tuned. It's got an air filter in it, full exhaust, so now this thing should absolutely rip and be a lot more fun than what it was before. And of course, the elusive V4 is still sitting here. However, they said the wheels should be coming in for this bike next week or so, so we should be getting this bike as well very soon, which will be nice to have, because as fun as the H2 has been, this bike can pretty much keep up with the H2 while being a lot lighter and have way better technology. So I'm a little excited to get this bike back. All right, boys and girls, here's the first start with the baffle out on the 2022 NT07. Smooth, yeah. Starts right up, baby. That is already vibrating my ears. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks again. Take care. I'll see you soon. There are two types of quick shifters that you can get for this generation of NT07. You can either get the ones that plug directly into the spark plugs, or this ECU one, which plugs into the ECU and you do a bunch of wiring. It's super complicated. Since I know these guys at Ducati, I figured I'd opt for the ECU one since it's safer for the bike. There's less risk of it blowing up. So that's what I got. You have to get an ECU flash, which I did with two-wheel dyno works. That's supposed to enable it, and then you just plug in this quick shifter. It goes up through here, it plugs in right over here. Now, since doing everything I was supposed to, Ducati was telling me that it's not working. So we're gonna find out for myself why that is. Nice. Smooth, I like this. This feels good. That's what I like about the NT07s, man. These bikes are so smooth, and I really miss riding this bike. It's such a comfortable bike just to ride around on the daily, compared to other sport bikes, like the H2 or the V4. This is such a pure riding experience. It reminds me a lot of when I first started riding. Yeah, that quick shifter not really working, although I don't know. That is so strange. Okay, I guess we're going to have to be doing a little bit of experimenting to figure out why that's not working. But I mean, it's not really an essential thing to ride this bike. That's why I told Ducati, I'm like, it's not like the S1000 where it revs so quick that you can't really ride the bike without a quick shifter. This bike is not made to ship with a quick shifter, so it doesn't really matter. It's been so long since I've been on a naked bike, bro. This feels so strange. Dude, I just got back on it. We already popping it up, dude. Oh my god. I love this bike. Oh, this thing's gonna get me arrested, dude. I love it. Dude, this thing is, this is one of my favorite bikes of all time. So every mod on this bike was worth every penny, because, this bike comes from the factory pretty imperfect. Yeah, it runs, but it's not, terribly fun or interesting. Once you put an exhaust, a tune, air filter, and you could do all this stuff pretty reliably. It's one of those bikes that is super underpowered for how big the motor is and how well it was built and how low it revs. For peaky motor, it kind of revs pretty low. Yeah, dude, the wheel just wants to come out right off the ground. This is why the MT is better than the R7. The race version of this bike just isn't as fun. Everybody who's ever, I haven't ridden one, but everybody who's ever ridden one has told me it just feels super underwhelming, while this bike just is super playful. It just wants to just play around. The seating position means you're sitting far back, super upright, and so anything you do is super controllable. And this bike has such cheap suspension and chassis parts that it's super sketchy. But it's fun. It's got a steel frame, so you can slam this sucker down as hard as possible on a wheelie, and it's not gonna bend. And it's got right set up forks, so when you inevitably blow your fork seals, you can just rebuild them no problem in your own garage. Super just awesome bike. And it sounds amazing. Ooh, super sketchy. It's just awful. I'm willing to admit I slammed it down pretty hard there. That's on me. Not that you guys are gonna be able to see it until maybe I make a Patreon or something. Oh well. Just an awful, awful bike, but it's like so endearing. Oh, can't hold the line at all. Oh boy, how awesome is that? Yeah, she just eats these little bumpy parts. She just eats it up. It's no problem for her at all. This on like the V4 or something, it's like da 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 da, which is fine because that bike can actually hold a line around a corner. But I like having both in my life, man. I like having both extremes rather than just one bike that does it all. Variety is the spice of life. After the tune, it's so much better. But I'm already like getting back into the flow of it. I tried doing this on my S1000 the other night before I had to turn it into warranty service, which, by the way, we are not seeing the S1000 today. I'm really sorry about that. I couldn't find the part, and to be honest, it's not really worth going all the way to that dealership just to check on it. At most, I might call them in a bit to be like, hey, like, just wanted to get an update on the S1000. It's been a week, and I still haven't heard anything, so would really like to know, as it is part of the warranty downtime. So I would really like to know what's going on with that bike, but not like I'm really missing it, because this bike is just, man, I was so desperate to get this bike back. It's been gone for like a month. Quick shifter is still not working. But like I said, it's not as important on this bike. Not a big deal. I could manually shift on this bike because I'm used to it. And I didn't pay $30,000 for this bike. This bike cost me under 10 grand, even after the mods. So like, I don't care. It gets the pass. It's allowed to not work as well. This thing just sounds so mean and good, and I love it. I miss this thing so much.
The garage is filling up quickly, unfortunately. Noise. But yeah, boys, we got this bike back, finally, right? Here, of course, is the beautiful H2. This bike seems so much more intimidating now. I shouldn't say intimidating. It feels a little bit more like I'm willing to ride it now that I have this back. It just feels good to like have choices. Like I have this bike if I want to ride it, and I have that bike if I want to ride it. I have this absolute animal that is wants to go through a tank of gas every time I look at it, and I have this bike that just wants to hoon around and do wheelies, and it's awesome, dude. I feel so right on a bike like this. And plus, I think that this bike is a little bit more relatable when you guys are watching it, because this bike's a lot more attainable, and it's also one of the most fun bikes. I've been saying this for forever. It's one of the most fun bikes that you can buy in the market. Seriously, buy one of these if it's within your range. It's a perfect beginner bike. You can keep this bike forever. I've been riding for 5 years, and it's still like one of my most entertaining bikes ever. You can find them for like $5 grand, maybe $4,500 if you get like a high mileage one. I've seen these bikes with like 100,000 miles on them, and they still tick away. Now I put a few modifications on this bike. So originally this bike came gray. I put this black on it, and I still haven't filled in the logo, so it looks a little clapped. That was about $200 for both panels, or maybe it was like 100. I think it was like 150. I then put the tune on there, which was like another $250. I put an air filter, which was like $80. R6 throttle tube, which was like $5, which means that this is easier. This is a shorter throw, so you get more power with less pull. And the full exhaust, which is, I bought like the most expensive full exhaust that you can put on this bike, which is like a titanium Acro piece. I just wanted this bike to sound good, not too loud. It's perfect. That was like $800. So like all in, I think I'm like $7,500 all in on this bike, which is not bad. The quick shifter was like $250, and that's still not working, so I'm not really counting that right now. And she's in a good spot. I'm very happy with the way this bike is. I want to get rid of these mirrors ASAP, but for right now, I'm just keeping them just for safety reasons. Always run some sort of mirror. You got to know what's going on behind you for safety. And this is coming from someone who's only crashed one time in 5 years, and that was my own low-speed accident. That it was a one, like, by myself. I crashed into a ditch because I was trying to push a bike too hard. So take it from me, someone who's been like riding. I've had tens of thousands of miles, only crashed one time. Use mirrors. Don't just delete your mirrors. Look, I get it. Your bike may look sick without mirrors, but keep the mirrors. It'll save you. I'm geeking over it. I got a lot of cleaning up to do on this bike before I go out riding again. And now I want to hop back on the H2. See, owning a bike like this, owning a lower speed bike, makes you want to ride the fast stuff more often. Fascinating how that works, isn't it? With that, I'm probably going to end today's video, and we're going to go get ready for the ride. I'll see you guys later.